What's up, guys? Welcome back. We are watching WCS America Challenger League. Without any further ado, Game 3. Between Bales and Fenix. Let's do it. It's going to be on Belshir Vestige. Is it? I think we've established it's Vestige.
Not
People got mad at us for saying
Vestige. Belshir Vestige.
Not Vestige.
You sure?
I know. Wasn't there a movie that had Vestige?
Well, Prestige.
Oh, you see that? You see?
Yeah.
There's my logic. Prestige. Maybe it's Prestige.
It's not Prestige.
So then we can agree it's Vestige.
Well, it's a different word too. I'm not sure if it works that way.
But it's the same last 6 letters.
It's true. But if I have more brain power, think of other examples that work.
I'll look it up.
English is actually a really confusing.
No, it is.
Some
You know, did you know
aspects.
it's the hardest language to learn?
I thought it was like Chinese or something.
No, man, English.
Well, English has the most crazy exceptions and weird rules to it.
Hence why it's the most difficult to learn.
But it also doesn't have like an insane alphabet of symbols to memorize.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Oh, by the way, your player in the bottom right is from Kansas City.
Nice.
I asked him, so you're right.
So our blue Protoss player, representing Clarity, from Kansas City, United States, we have Bales. His opponent, from Team Incredible Miracle, from Peru, we have Fenix.
Gas opening. Very, very quick gas. What is he up to? Well, a fast factory, probably.
Probably, yeah. Anyone?
Unless it's a crazy.
No, only
Reaper
only
build.
Apocalypse does weird builds like that. I had like never seen a pro besides Apocalypse do anything but Fast Factory from a gas first.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be Fast Factory, which is interesting. I wonder. I mean, he obviously did the one base build as well on
This fast scout
Whirlwind.
too. Bales doesn't usually do this, does he?
Uh,
Or does he?
You know what? I have to say I'm not 100% sure, but against Fenix, it's actually not a bad idea. Especially now, I mean, seeing the barracks time, he knows it's fast gas.
Yep.
Which he's going to
Just gonna
assume is
confirm it right
fast
now.
factory. Yeah. Make sure it wasn't like double barracks. Right? Actually, that's the other thing. Could have been. It could have been the second barracks off
Sure.
of like 11, 12 barracks timing
And
or
the
something.
other racks is like outside his natural.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to double check that gas.
Oh, there goes the factory.
And the probes got it.
And he's gonna proxy a starport, I think. Is my guess. I don't think. Normally, with these type of one base builds, your economy is kind of low that you often just don't scout. It looks like actually no, he's just gonna scout. So,
Or he could
it would
build the starport in his opponent's main
it would have
base.
been a little early, I guess, than at SAV. I mean, the factory's only halfway done, so he's gonna scout his opponent. But Bales knows it's a factory play.
Yeah.
And so when a Terran delays their economy this much, I mean, it's almost, this is like the equivalent of when like a Zerg versus a Terran or Protoss on 2 bases builds like 8 roaches, right? It's not like they have to end the game, but they have to do damage and get some worker kills. You know, normally in Zerg versus Terran, if you build those 8 roaches, it's like, well, I'm looking for 5, 6 worker kills, hopefully some unit kills as well, force a reaction, those type of things. There's kind of a similar story here. And last game, he was totally, you think he got 1 probe kill with that drop, and he lost, you know, a couple Widow Mines and a couple Marines, so it was totally ineffective. But maybe I'll better luck this game.
Now, Bales didn't actually see the factory?
No, he didn't. But
So, you know, could he still be thinking, all right, are you proxying me?
no. Not with the barracks refinery timing. There's really no other build it. I mean, unless he's playing Apocalypse, then it might be like proxy 3 racks Mass Reaper. So I mean, I guess he has to like consider that type of thing, like some weird type of build like that. But
You know what would be a cool match? Apocalypse versus Cats.
that would be an insane match. I don't think I could comprehend what's going on in that game.
Well, what would be the Protoss equivalent, do you think? Puck, maybe?
I almost want to.
Grubby, maybe?
I was almost gonna say Tails, but.
Oh, sure.
But the thing is, Tails builds are all like just super refined, aggressive builds, right? They're not like crazy builds that are
Right.
actually like the thing that Apocalypse does is he does things in an inefficient manner purely to throw his opponent off. It would have been like watching OGS Inca play, if he still played.
Yeah.
And it's not like they do it because they just don't streamline their builds. It's they have the build be an inefficient build specifically for the purpose of trying to convince their opponent something else is going on.
Yeah.
So it's not like their builds just are terrible. It's their mind game builds, which definitely have a role in the StarCraft world.
All right, the drop is going to start heading to the main base. Observer just now popping out, going in that direction. Mothership Core going in that direction as well. Photon Overcharge should go down. Probes need to run very fast. That's what they're going to do.
And I mean, I don't see anything dying here. Oh, he's able to save most of his units this time.
Where's the Ignite at? Is that going to die? It might. 2 more shots. Oh, no. Okay, that's a tragedy.
Wait, was the cooldown still on? I feel
Yeah,
like...
it might have just triggered.
Yeah, and that's really rough. Because I think he got a total of 0 kills so far. And again, this is a build where
He killed the Zealot earlier, I think.
okay. The Zealot always dies. Poor Zealot. And this is a build where it's not like, okay, am I trading evenly or not? It's, am I trading evenly plus like 5-6 probes? You need like a plus something to compensate for the fact you delayed your expansion for so long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but we did see on Whirlwind, it was probably almost as bad an opening for Fenix, and he was still able to make the game work, just by containing his opponent for so long on a small base count with that aggressive multi-prong attacks. So we could see a repeat of that. And he does have the starport tech already, which is really nice. That's the one great thing about that build, is you do have the starport up fast. Of course, you can just do that build after expansion. You still have it up pretty fast. But he's not, you know, he's not in terrible trouble. He's only down by like 5 or 6 workers. So.
You know what's interesting? It's another situation where Phoenix scouted stuff, and it's not necessarily going in that direction. He scouted the Robo Bay.
Yes.
But
there's no range.
Yeah, unlike last game, we have no range being researched.
That's a very good point. And in fact, it's just going to be...
He's getting a second Colossus, though.
Maybe...
Oh, he tried to hide the Colossus, too.
I think he with 2 Colossus, or 2 Colossi, he's going to go ahead and get that range.
If he goes 3, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't get range.
Yeah,
I mean,
often people get the
2,
range
yeah.
between 2 and 3 sometimes. Often it's between 1 and 2, but if you wanted to just make sure he has a maximum Colossi count going into the mid-game, of course you want to make sure that goes non-stop. So let's see. Is he going to go ahead and get that range? His gas is starting to get higher. He's probably going to warp in. Okay, there goes a 3rd Colossi. Has he forgotten range, or is he...
I'm so...
Okay, there he's starting it right now.
Oh, okay.
What he did, he just wanted to make sure he never missed a single second on the Colossi production.
Okay.
And so, of course, the range will be late, so I'll have Colossi without range. But if he plays defensively until range finishes, it shouldn't really matter. Even 6 range Colossi are more than enough to defend. And if your opponent actually doesn't have Vikings, it doesn't really make that big a difference. I mean, it's still important, but with force fields and 6 range usage, still be fine up until the Viking count gets pretty high. Because you want the long range, so the Vikings have to come closer to your Stalkers and Storms and Archons to hit the...
yeah, and of course, if you don't have range, like Marauders can start sniping away.
This is true. Yeah, if you can get great force fields, you should minimize it, but you don't want to have to rely on that as the game goes on.
All right, was he scanned in a spot? 2 Colossus.
But did you see the 3rd one's going back to defend drops? You know, Bales is really anticipating multi-pronged aggression. He's really splitting up his army in a way to defend both angles very well. Oh, they really didn't like that, that probe.
He stimmed right when he saw him.
They're like, man, you're going down, probe. We're gonna teach you a lesson.
Any excuse to use those drugs, man. The combat drug, or the stim.
That's right. Oh, one Zell taking out a Marine there. Oh, poor little Marine. Just a blood
I think that
splatter.
Zell's gonna die, though.
Oh, no. Why do Zells always die?
It's their role.
I love...
their role
See,
in
the thing
StarCraft
is,
2 society.
Zealots are my favorite unit. Every time I see a Zealot die, I cry a bit inside.
Do you? You know what? You do. I hear you crying in your room sometimes. Is that what that's about?
It is. It's when I'm watching a stream where I'm playing and a couple Zealots die.
I always feel bad. Like I'm about to go in there and console you, but
there's nothing to be done. I mean, it's just sad.
yeah.
So going forward, we're seeing the 2nd starport down by Fenix, which is a great move. He's also working on his 3rd expansion, and his upgrades are a little behind, but they're not too far behind. You know, this is looking very, very similar to the first game, actually. Like, it's almost... Bales is...
A faster 3rd, though. Wait. Oh, no, you're right, yeah. A similarly timed 3rd, I think.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to that first game from both players. And that's something that Bales was ahead at this point in the first game, but then Fenix was able to just keep him on a defensive for so long. Oh, the third Nexus. This is similar to the first game as well. The third Nexus, I think, got canceled twice.
Can he save it?
Oh, I think he is.
Oh,
Marine size so fast to 4 Colossi.
yeah.
And with that, Fenix is going to back away with his other drop, you know, saying, okay, if only one thing's going on at the same time, he's going to defend that drop pretty well.
Belshire, well,
Vestige.
I'm just gonna say the first word. Belshire could be a difficult map to, you know, hold these 3 bases because you're pretty spread out apart. You know, the main and the third, especially when you move out to take a 4th. You know, some players will take this 4th on the left-hand side, but that's so far away from your main base that you're just asking to be dropped everywhere. Some players will take this one in the middle right, so you can, you know, defend the main a little bit easier, and defend your 4th base. But there's still a decent amount of air distance, so you have to be careful.
A drop going straight for the natural. Of course, there is a cannon there. But what Fenix is trying to do is he's trying to distract Bales. But Bales is going to warp into Stalker and 2 Zealots. That should be enough to stop a drop in addition to...
Oh, feedback.
Oh, is he in... I think he's in range. Oh, man. Nice catch there.
Yep.
Nice catch.
Is he going to go without Storm again?
It looks like he might.
Yep.
And you know, he's not behind in food, so his macro's a little bit ahead of Fenix's because of the way the openings went. But Fenix now pulling some SCVs. Is he looking to try to do a timing here?
Does this work? I mean, I think if your opponent goes for Storm, this does work. But if he makes those Archons,
yeah, this is.
I don't know if it does because you need the Ghosts. I feel.
You do, and there's not enough Vikings either. There's only like 7, 8 Vikings. There's 4 Colossi. Bales, is he going to give up the 3rd? I don't think he has to.
I think he could have engaged them.
Yeah, he definitely could have. The positioning wasn't ideal, so. And if he can stop this army from retreating across the map, he should be happy. But he's actually not going to try to stop it.
Oh.
Maybe he's afraid to engage without charge, because he doesn't quite have charge yet. Although, I feel like with this Colossi count is his power right now. And as the game goes on, if Fenix can get more and more Vikings, that power of the Colossi is going to fade. If he can get this 3rd Nexus up, though, we should be okay. You know, Fenix is on 3 base, he'll equalize the base count. Playing almost a Zerg style here, taking 2 bases and saying, well, if you keep attacking everywhere, all you need to do is defend one of these bases, right? And I'll still be to get 3 bases up eventually.
He's trying to get both up. He's trying to make up for lost time here. And when your opponent's on 3 bases, I'm not sure, you know, I don't disagree with that. But then it becomes that much harder to defend both locations.
I don't think he can defend both.
Yeah.
But what he can do is taking both means he can afford to sacrifice one. But there's Fenix with a decent 4th on the left side. That left base is probably going to fall here. Fenix moving in.
No static D.
Oh, and the main army's moving to the right.
Oh,
no. Bales put his army in a position where he couldn't defend either base.
He's just in the middle of both.
Yeah, and now he has to go defend his natural even, so he's stuck into a very defensive posture. He's going to kill these few units. A little bit of a nice revenge.
I guess.
Not enough, though. I mean, the armies are still very even, but the economy is getting so bad for Bales. It's still on 2-base economy, but you really want to have the 6 gases at this point in the game.
Yep. It's really reminding me of Game 1, where Fenix just kept denying those additional bases. Always stayed 1 base ahead. And he was willing to take, you know, relatively cost-inefficient trades because he's going to have a better ability to remake his army.
Just dropping natural. Bales really doesn't have an answer. Bales doesn't have the money to warp in. Okay, floating overcharge should drive that off. Bales needs a big win with this push here. This is really what's going to determine the game. He's going up the ramp. Fenix pulling the SCVs. A nice flank from them, actually. He's going to distract some of the Colossi.
The concave is phenomenal from Fenix. He's going to micro away his units one at a time. The Colossi trying to come forward. The Stalker's blinking underneath the Vikings, but I think Fenix is going to have too much. He's up 130 to 104 supply. The force fields are pretty perfect, but, you know, what's going to do? He doesn't have enough to deal with the remaining Marines and Marauders. And this entire army is just going to fall. There's the GG and the good luck. Bales fought hard.
He did.
Unable to convert a victory there.
You know, Fenix's mid game is so strong.
Yeah.
Just the way he uses drop play, the way, he understands when to send a drops in. I love how intelligently he sets up a drop, and then he doesn't send it in unless there's something else going on at the same time. He's like, okay, this drop can do damage. He doesn't just like throw them around and be like,
yeah,
take this, and throw a little pebble at a guy. Because drops are like pebbles. You keep throwing them. If he's looking at you, he's going to catch it.
Yes.
But you get him to look somewhere else, it hits him in the back of the head, and then he says, ouch, and he looks that way, and then you throw another one, and you just keep
I'm trying to follow this.
working him, right?
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Good analogy there, Nick. I always appreciate your analogies. But, you know, Phoenix fantastically played, and again, the theme continues. The guys in Premier League refusing to go anywhere. Every single challenger from the qualifiers has fallen to the Premier League players. So, you know, guys, to recap the day so far, Theognis taking victory over Jadong, Major over Xenocider, and now Fenix over Bales, which leads us to our last match of the night. It's going to be Vibe versus Sage, Root versus Root, USA versus Korea. You don't want to miss this, guys. Stay tuned.